Eucalyptus maculata, also known as spotted gum, is a tree species that is valued for their back-sawn grain structure, attractive markings, and vibrant colour palette. More importantly, the species produces lumber suitable for heavy construction such as wharf, bridges, railway sleepers, crossarms, and mining timbers. Depending on the time of harvest, the timber is applicable to a range of uses from posts and poles, framing, flooring, lining, deck, and cladding. Although the species grows in a wide range of soil types, spotted gum is commonly found along the east coast of Australia, ranging from northeastern Victoria to the northern tablelands of Queensland, where soils are moist, well drained, with club subsoils for optimum growth. The typical spotted gum plantation consists of a single species that dominates the landscape. Each young tree is regularly spaced between 4 to 5 metres apart to facilitate the maximum lumber yield. Relative to other materials with similar structural qualities, timber is often associated with lower embodied energy costs. As such, timber has become synonymous with sustainability. However, with the global population projected to increase, so will the demand for wood-based products. This increased demand inevitably leads to increased consumption. In order to adapt to consumer needs and sustainability agendas, fast wood plantations seek to address this demand. These plantations produce 2 times as much timber 2 to 3 times per year compared to the traditional methods. Yet the timber industry struggles with balancing growing demand and minimizing adverse impacts on the environment and subsequently human health. Every year there is 0.8 to 1.2 million hectares added onto the 10 million hectares of fastwood plantation, often eating into existing forests in search for productive land. These plantations are driven by economic value rather than sustainable practice. Establishing a plantation will inevitably disrupt the water cycle of the environment. The harvesting process of timber disrupts the natural order of nutrients, as leaves and woody matter are no longer present to replace the nutrients in the soil. With such rapid loss of nutrients coupled with the absence of root activity, ecosystems and soil conditions will naturally degrade and erosions occur. Artificial means such as fertilizer are introduced to supplement this loss. Optimal growth in subsequent forestry batches are prioritized at the expense of land, water, and environment. Nutrient enrichment can be damaging to the fauna and flora, leading to a decline in biodiversity. These forestry practices of cultivation, deforestation, and overgrazing leaves huge scars on the land. While remaining artificially serene, the true extent of the damage remains invisible to the eye. Through an alternative lens, cultivating timber through wild growth has the potential to remedy much of the environmental ramifications of monoculture. Native Australian eucalypt forest supports a rich diversity of flora and fauna through the World Wide Web, where underground networks of fungi which take years to construct help share resources between neighbouring trees, balancing nutrients and improving resilience. Yet even old-growth forests are susceptible to illegal forestry practices, with state-owned corporations such as Vic Forests habitually logging outside of government-defined boundaries. From 2004 to 2019, it was found that over 321 hectares across the Upper Goulburn and Thompson catchments were illegally logged, with the end product ultimately ending up on the shelves of major retailers who advertise their product as sustainably sourced. These issues aren't isolated within Australia, and are prominent in nations across the world wherein the legality of logging varies. A lack of universality and legality makes it all but impossible to find what is and isn't sustainable when it comes to our timber products, as what is illegal here could be common practice elsewhere. The prevailing attitude seems to prioritise the end product, with many willing to turn a blind eye to how we get our timber. These practices make us question whether timber as a material is truly addressing issues around climate or simply displacing the problem elsewhere. Should we rethink how we consume and ask ourselves, is timber truly sustainable?